Now, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has made an assessment of the state of the condition of the planet that we live on. And he said, after looking at the shape and condition, his diagnosis was that the reason that the earth and the world is in the condition that it is in is because of its disrespect of woman. Did you hear me? Then he said this, asking himself a hypothetical question. He said, what's wrong with the world? He said, what's wrong with the world is that there are no strong men. So if we marry these two axioms or principles or diagnosis from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, we live in a world that is in the shape and condition that it is in because of the disrespect of women. And the disrespect of women is the byproduct of there being too many weak men walking the face of the earth. Right now, did you know, black woman, and did you know, black man, that there are more black males born than there are black females? But by the time the two reach the age 18, black females outnumber black males 7 to 1, which means that the black male is dying at the rate of an endangered species. When you factor in not only homicide, but you factor in incarceration, when you factor in drug dealing and drug using, and then when you factor in that segment of black male population that doesn't even want a woman, then this makes it very hard. I said that segment of the population that does not want. Y'all, you know what I'm talking about. And we know that as soon as that black man stands up and becomes himself, because you as the female are his natural reflector, it's only a matter of time before the woman that has a stress-free existence, when that woman has a situation where she has her needs cared for, then every time she lays down to bring birth to a new child, there won't be an average child born. There won't be a mediocre child born. There won't be a good child born. There'll be a God coming forth from the womb of that woman when she is properly taken care of. All praise are due to Allah. The most honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us that there is no such thing as a no good woman. You didn't hear what I just said. There is no such thing as a no good woman. Any no good woman was made that way by a no good man. Did y'all hear me? Then he cross-referenced it with another principle. He said, where there are no decent women, there are no decent men. For the mother is the first teacher. Y'all still with me? Well, when you put these two principles together, yes, as a female, you could say there is no such thing as a no good woman, and if there is one, she was made that way by a no good man. But on the flip side of the coin, where there are no decent women, there are no decent men. So when a no good man comes to you, trying to run a game on you, it is your duty, it is your obligation to have your spiritual search procedure going up in your mind. Did you hear? And just like it was when you came to the mosque doors today, there was a sister out there, wasn't it? Huh, sisters? Was there a brother out there? And that brother wanted to know, he told you what? Take everything out your pocket except loose change and dollar bills. Is that right? That sister wanted you to take everything out except for the loose change and the dollar bills. And then she began to search you, right? To see if there was any weapon that you were going to bring into the temple that could violate the sacredness of this sad environment. Well, you have to have that kind of security as a woman when a no good man comes your way. Did you hear me? When that man shows up trying to crack on you, trying to hit on you, trying to get you, you gotta stop that brother and engage in a search procedure before you let that man into your life. And you wanna know, do you have any weapons on you? Do you have anything in your head or in your heart that's going to injure the sacred temple of God? And if I find that weapon in your teaching, in your thinking, in your way, I got to holler, check one. And we going to escort you back to your vehicle, put that in the trunk, and come correct on the next batch. Are y'all with me? So Jesus said it like this. It's not what goes in a person that defileth them, but what comes out. Meaning it's not necessarily what happens to you, but how you respond to it. So as a woman, yes, there is no such thing as a no good woman, except she was made that way by a no good man. But you gotta be on point. You gotta be sharp. You gotta have focus and determination. You gotta know what a real man looks like and be able to recognize game when game is showing up, that you be not the victim of a no good man. All praise is due to Allah. Don't we always give you a rose to show you how much we love you? Right? Well, one of the things a rose has on it is some thorns. Did y'all hear me? Well, sometimes you gotta be like that rose. In fact, there's a lot in common with women and the rose. Did you hear me? In order for a rose to grow, it has to have a full day of sunlight. Transfer that into happiness and joy. In order for a woman to grow, she has to have a raised soil bed. Likewise, in order for women to grow, men have to exalt the woman. The rose also must be planted in a way that it's not in competition with other flowers, so that the roots from other flowers will wrap around it and choke out its life. So it is with our women. You can't grow if you're always thinking about him looking at somebody or some other woman. You got to be planted in a way that you are secure if you want to grow properly. All praise is due to Allah. But you got to have you some good thorns. Because if somebody want to handle that rose and they want to handle it without thought, without having a good plan before they grab the rose, and they half-heartedly just reach it, they gonna get stuck with the rose. Well, so it is, black woman, you got to be like that when a man's trying to grab you. He gotta meet a point to keep that no good man away from you. All praises are due to Allah. However, it is important, brothers and sisters, especially sisters, that as you began to calculate the no good man, that we don't leave and stop at a sick father or a crazy uncle or a game running boyfriend from the past that is the cause of why we are not what we should be. Because the real no good man was not the ex-boyfriend or the father or the uncle. The real no good man that messed us up was the slave trader, the slave makers, and the slave masters.